Hello everyone, and today we'll take a look at this IEM here. This is, I think, relatively new from a new company I never seen before. This is Rosetechnics. Now, they reached out to me and asked me to review their IEMs, and this is the Star City 5 Pro. I believe it costs around 70 to 80 USD. Comes with 3 diver, 1 dynamic and 2 balanced armature, so I'm interested to try it out. This is a brand new set, as you can see here. They provided me this copy for the review. So without wasting time, let's unbox this. Have a first impression followed by some comparisons to let you guys know really what is this IEM all about. Have some difficulties taking this out. Light year. This is the whole unboxing experience. It's pretty decent. And a very nice circular case here. Stick to the bottom. Let's pull it out. Overall, very nice case. These are the tips. Not sure you can see it, but you know, these are the smaller tips. It came out in, I think, transportation. I'll just take out the 2 smallest one here, and we'll just close this box up. These are the IEMs here. You can see the IEMs. Pretty small, very stylish and nice. Uses the MMCX connector. You can see this connector here, a round one. And then the tip itself is on the medium size. It has a lip. Overall, the material is pretty nice. Metal construction here. I believe this is plastic, and then this is plastic too. So it's a plastic metal construction. Now, I'm not sure whether it's this resin or just normal plastic, can't tell. But looks pretty good overall. So let's try to fit on the tip and the cables and have a go. So now I have connected up the IEM. The cables are pretty normal. These are like braided cables, not very high end or low end. Pretty much good enough for the quality and price they're giving. I think it's pretty normal cable. Pretty much same as the Truth Years type, you know. Now, inside the case, they did give extra stuff. I did notice this thing. This is a USB-C. I believe this is a very simpler USB-C DAC. And then even more tips here. And the tips are different. Now, I'm not sure which tip is the better one, so I'll just leave this in the case first. And let's have a listen. So the first track I'll be listening to is Backlight by Vonde. This is a little bit more of a very messy music, very rock style. I really like it. So let's have a listen with the, you know, Star City 5 Pro. Now, for the very first track, Backlight by Vonde, I'll say as it is a very nice balanced sound. The only thing about this IEM that I felt, you know, could be improved is really there's this very light veil over the entire sound itself. Most likely some sort of bass bleeding into it. That actually reduces some of the quality, but other than that, it is really nice. Surprisingly, I really like it. It is generally smooth. The bass is punchy. Now the subs are not a lot, and the texture of the bass itself not the best, especially when you play in the middle. There's this bass guitar, not that great there, but it is still very nice, very punchy and very enjoyable from the bass perspective. I mean, at this price point, I'm not expecting the best quality here. Now, the mids itself is very powerful, and this mids I think is really like in the mid. I don't feel like there's any particular bias to, you know, some of the IEMs are like biased to the higher mids, some of them are lower mids. This is like really mids, you know. It makes Vonde voice feels a bit normal. I have some IEMs that makes Vonde's voice very powerful and low. The other one makes it really high and clean. This one is kind of like the center there. Now, the treble itself is very clear, but you know, there's this light veil, as I say. It does affect the general sound itself and loses a bit of details across all spectrums, including up to the treble region. But that being said, the cymbals do sound very good. The crashing is pretty nice. It doesn't have a lot of power, not a lot of energy there, but overall, I think it's relatively balanced. I feel that the sound signature is pretty much something that most people probably can enjoy, and you know, you're not here to look out for the most highest end equipment at this price point, so I think it's pretty okay. So that is Vonde. Let's try Ibarra this time. Now with Ibarra, I would say as really that I think there is a little bit less energy on the treble side of things, a little bit lesser. I mean, it's still clean, it's still clear. It just doesn't have that kind of energy in some IEMs out there where the treble and the mid highs are really clean and powerful. But this one is a bit more tame on the highs. But now the mids itself is really nice. I mean, Ado's voice once again sounds very mid. You know, not too, you know, I would say as the overall sound, not too much body, but not too like high energy into the higher mids level. So it's kind of leveled in the center and it's pretty enjoyable with Ado's voice. In this particular song, I do not feel the veil over the song itself. It may be a case of certain frequencies, especially in the bass region, that Ado's Ibarra doesn't have, so something to note there. Now, the bass is still really punchy, very nice. The subs itself, not too much, but the overall amount of bass, I'm very happy with it. It is on the higher side for IEMs, and I quite enjoy this amount of bass itself. That being said, this is all just first impression. Whatever I said, and I have used many IEMs, still I believe that my thoughts are not the best. Best is to do side-by-side comparison with another IEM of a similar price that you guys probably know more. So I'll be comparing with the TruthViewer Zero Rate. You can see here. Let's do a comparison and then hear the difference between this and the TruthViewer Zero Rate. I mean, the Star City 5 Pro is looking very, very bright. Okay, this time I'll try a pure vocal heavy track. This is Aino Akuruhi, a bit more supposedly smooth kind of song. Let's take a listen and see how it differs between both of these IEMs. Now, between these two IEMs, I just want to say a few things. Firstly, I do feel like the soundstage-wise, the Star City is a little bit smaller than the TruthViewer. That's first thing. Secondly is also the sound profile is quite different. The Star City is, I would say, is more biased towards the lows to mids, while the TruthViewer is about high mids to highs. So I would say as when it comes to the energy and sparkling factor, the TruthViewer has a bit more of those. The TruthViewer Zero Rate has that higher energy. The bass itself, compared to the Star City, is a bit more like flabby. A little bit lesser and a little bit, I guess, rounded. While the Star City really have that very nice impact. At this price point, I'm not expecting perfection, but definitely good amount of bass, good amount of impact, better than the TruthViewer any day. Now the mids, I would say as personal preference here, I would say as Star City has a little bit more body, a bit smoother, and as I said, very mid, so it feels very nice and neutral. While the version on the Zero Rate feels a little more higher in energy, more biased towards the mid-highs region. So in this song, Aino Akuruhi, Ado's voice is a bit more, I think, brighter. Yes, brighter is just the way to say it. It's not sharp, it's just brighter. Now, which do you prefer? Do you prefer a more bodied and more smooth sound, or do you have a brighter sound? Personal preference here. But I have to say the truth that the treble is rendered significantly better on the TruthViewer Zero Rate. That sparkle, especially in the guitar and everything, all the high instruments, cymbals all come in, that twang to it. The TruthViewer Zero Rate on the mid-high to highs are just better than the Star City here. Star City feels a bit more dark sounding, if you want to compare. Now, Aino Akuruhi is one song. Let's try one last song and then we can summarize everything up. For this song, it'll be Yusha, a bit more bass heavy. So let's hear the difference. So I compared again Star City, Zero Rate, and Star City. In this song, the bass is very punchy, nice. I did notice that the Zero Rate actually does have, I think, more sub bass, more deeper bass. But the bass impact itself, Zero Rate is a bit rounded and a bit bloomy, while for the Star City is like impactful, very nice. So if you are in for the impactful type of bass, and the quantity of the impactful bass also is more on the Star City, I think the Star City is more enjoyable from the bass perspective. Mids perspective wise, once again, personal preference. Do you want a bit more on the mid sound where there's not so much of the brightness nor darkness? It's like really in the center for the vocals, and the Star City is that, while the Zero Rate is on the brighter side of things, a bit more energetic sounding. Now when it goes to the highs, I did notice that for this particular tracks, for cymbals and any instrument that may have a bit of twang to it, I do feel like Star City is a bit more tame and overall a little bit more natural sounding. I just don't know how to put it, but it does sound a little bit more natural in this particular track here. The Zero Rate has more energy there, but there is certain parts where the cymbals crash. The cymbals felt a bit more out of tune. I don't know how to put it, out of tune. While the Star City do maintain that crash. Yes, less energy, but relatively natural sounding and smooth there. So difference in render here. Now for this particular track, I don't have a particular strong preference to either one. I mean, if you want bass, Sure, I think Star City is better. You want balance? I also think Star City is a bit more balanced. But you know, you want the energy because this is a YOASOBI song, this is Yusha, a bit more energy there. I think the 0 rate has a bit more energy there. And also, the 0 rate does have a little bit more clarity, I feel. A little bit, touch more clarity. I think it's just how the bass is rendered and that maybe some of the bass is actually entering the mids itself. That's why there's a difference in the Star City. Star City bass is strong but maybe bleeding slightly. Other than that, I don't really have much complaint. I think the Star City is like really competent. Now, to summarize the sound signature here, this is very impactful bass. Good amount, really good amount there. The mix itself is very balanced, not like biased to either the highs or the lows, very balanced in between. The highs themselves a bit less energy, a bit more tamed, can be at times, especially compared to brighter IEMs, a bit dark sounding if you really want to compare that way. I do feel like in certain tracks there's this bleed from the bass into the mids and then there's this slight veil as such, but it is very slight and doesn't really change much of the quality of the sound unless you're comparing with really a high clarity IEM or I say it's just a clearer IEM. That's about it. Overall, I do enjoy the Star City 5 Pro a lot, especially in this testing session itself. I think it's a very enjoyable IEM, and not only that, it is very easy to wear. I have to say the truth, this is one of the nicest to wear. It is so small, this whole thing fits into the ear, flush, and this is probably an IEM that you can just slip on the side and it will not protrude out of the head in any significant way. It's a very comfortable to wear IEM. In fact, for its comfort value, I will give it higher points just because it's comfortable, and the sound is pretty good. The price wise, again, this is like 70 plus USD, a little bit more expensive than the 0 rate, but it does provide you certain qualities that the 0 rate don't have. And also I think the quality of the cable, the quality of the IEM is a little bit better. Sound signature wise, personal preference here, but if you're in for the very nice neutral mids, very impactful bass, I mean, you're okay to lose some energy up top, this is the IEM for you. Now, just one last thing also is that soundstage wise, really, I think about the same. After I listen to everything, it's really about the same. So not much difference here. So don't expect anything spectacular soundstage wise, at least at this level. That's about it for today. I hope you enjoyed my short little first look of the Star City 5 Pro. I think it's a very nice IEM, worthy to try, and it's not really expensive. And that's about it. I'll see you guys again. Bye bye.